Now, even though there are two major names dominating the race for the GOP presidential nomination, we're seeing more Republicans jump into the 2024 race. Sources telling NewsNation former Vice President Mike Pence will announce his run this coming Tuesday in Des Moines, Iowa, along with former New Jersey Governor Christie, planning to launch his bid in a New Hampshire speech that same day. With us right now, Chris Hahn, NewsNation political analyst. He was also a senior advisor to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Cal Thomas, syndicated columnist and journalist, as well as author of the new book, A Watchman in the Night, What I've Seen Over 50 Years Reporting on America. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Chris, I'm going to start with you. I believe in dreaming big. I believe we should keep the faith. But with every person that decides to run, I mean, does it just dilute the electorate from, deciding who they're going to vote for? It just seems crazy.
Well, I think it makes it easier for Donald Trump, who has a firm command on a majority of Republican primary voters, to get elected, unless all of these people who jump in take on a similar strategy of brutally attacking the former president, which none of them have seemed to do so far. Now, Christie getting in, I think, is the only natural puncher in the race. Christie is famous for being a very strong, hard campaigner who's not afraid to go negative on his opponents. So we'll see where this lands. I think a lot of these candidates are not serious, will not really make it to the Iowa primary, a caucus in January, but they're out there right now trying to get their name out, seeing if there's a chance for them to break through. It's like buying a lottery ticket. You need $1 and a dream. I guess in presidential politics, you need $100 million and a dream.
Well, whenever I hear a journalist talk about it being crowded, I'm like, is it really crowded if you haven't even cracked 7% of voter popularity?
Right. Or 1%.
Or 1%. Exactly, like Christie, according to the latest Real Clear Politics average. Cal, we were talking about this on Wednesday. What's Christie doing?
Well, I think he's the wrecking ball for Donald Trump. There's no chance that he's going to get the nomination, just like a number of others that have been talked about. They need somebody, the other Republicans do, to take down Trump, and he is the most pugilistic among them. Mike Pence is going to announce in a few days. I've known Mike Pence since he was in the House, but I doubt that he's going to go anywhere because he's not going to win over any of the Trump base that still hates him for thinking wrongly that he should have overturned the election the last time around. So there are only really two Republicans who have a chance right now, but we're really early, and that's Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. So it's like mixing up a cake mix in a bowl. You haven't even put it in the oven yet, and the oven hasn't even cooked it thoroughly. So we'll see what happens. We got the first debate in August, and then the primaries. It's still very, very early.
Yep.
And don't forget, in past elections, Hillary Clinton was ahead, Jimmy Carter was ahead, and they never won in the outcome of the national election.
Yeah, but you got to have some secret sauce. There are some vital ingredients to the recipe. Do you think, Cal, that Vice President Pence still has that, especially as he really won over some Christian and faithful voters, but has that support weakened?
Well, the amazing thing, Adrienne, to me anyway, is that a lot of these evangelicals said that character was fundamental when it came to Bill Clinton, and they didn't like his personal behavior. But now they've overlooked that when it comes to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, he even denounced his own loyal press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, the other day because she supposedly came up with approval numbers for Trump that were less than what he thought they should be. I mean, how childish is that? That's schoolyard, your mama wears combat boots kind of stuff. Not very appealing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I got to ask you, Chris, about this. You're no stranger to the smack talk. We've seen Florida Governor Ron DeSantis get a little more emboldened addressing former President Trump. Could that backfire? Does he come off like a weasel?
Yeah, I think it can, because it doesn't seem natural to him, right? Like, that's the difference between him and a Christie. And I think Cal and I agree on this. When Ron DeSantis makes an attack like that, it just seems forced, with his Yale, Harvard backing and his kind of high-pitched voice. Whereas Christie is kind of like a New Jersey street fighter type. And when he makes a punch, it actually seems like he means it and it's not forced. So, yeah, I agree with Cal. I don't think Christie has any chance of being the nominee. But he may be the guy who actually brings Trump down a notch so somebody else can pop up within the Republican primary. And I think it's very important that that happens, because I also think, we don't want to go into an election with a guy who sent a mob to overturn the election results. And I don't understand why Mike Pence, who was in that Capitol out there isn't being more vocal in attacking Trump for what he did on January 6th and pointing out what he did, which was uphold the Constitution of the United States.
But Chris, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.